Hello everyone, it's SK95. Welcome back to more Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Last time, we managed to go to Xenoblade, and unfortunately, we got booby-trapped by the Rothians who were part of the Ganglion. This time, we will be doing a little mission that's actually quite important. You want to head back to the basic mission spots. Don't worry, you're going to need to do this anyway. This is available only after Chapter 9. The mission is called Flight Module. You need to activate this mission in order to get access to where it is. You need to go to the Outfitter's Test Hangars for this mission. Let's go and go to the Outfitter's Test Hangar for this one. Now, this episode is not going to really have many missions going on with it. We're probably going to be not doing any missions today except doing a test hangar, as well as getting everything else we want to get done. Although I don't know how Skip Traveling managed to make the weather change, but regardless though, I'm not too concerned by it. All we gotta do is head to the back of the test hangar. As you see, there's an affinity mission there. This one is known as, you need to obtain a Skell flight license and obtain a flight module basic mission. You need to accept this mission before you can do this. A girl's wings. However, you need to have the party size at 1. So, there's a new party member that's available soon, but we can't do that yet. There we go, we're all by ourselves now. Now we can accept the girl's wings.
So you made it. Why am I not surprised? Who else would have the stones to turn up for an experimental Skell test flight? Stones in your head, I mean. You and Doug are the only ones crazy enough to even try.
That's a horrible way to put it, Commander. I mean, sure, previous tests often involved engine explosions and lots of fire. And there was that one that went berserk and crashed itself into the sea. But that's all a perfectly natural part of the R&D process. Right?
I have to agree on that one.
Oh, she got you wrapped around her itty-bitty finger, don't she? Doug, too. For all his grousing, that boy just keeps coming back for more. I don't get it. Must be addicted to the rush, I suppose.
Commander, risking life and limb in the name of science is a noble cause and its own reward.
Yeah. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Lynn, why don't you walk him through it?
Right. I've been mulling over why all my flight pack designs keep blowing up. I think I've finally found the cause. Conventional Skells just don't have the energy to provide enough lift. So I've taken a step back and redesigned a Skell from scratch. The result is an integrated flight-capable Skell system, or IFCSS for short.
Forget the stupid acronym. I financed this, and I say we're calling it a Skell flight module. Oh, and did I mention I also got the arms manufacturers on board to help out?
Really? You're the best, Commander!
Yeah, well, that ain't the hard part. We can't have any more failures, you hear me?
This time it's a sure thing, my friend. The two of us are taking part in development to make certain of that.
Isobe! Jajani!
Well, if the bigwigs at Sakuraba and CNC aren't worried, I guess I shouldn't be either.
Yes, although we do have a slight concern regarding a lack of materials, don't we?
How much concern we talking here?
Well, our final check turned up one significant problem.
As it stands now, our chances of success are maybe 10%, you know.
That ain't good. What if we fix this little problem?
99.9999999% success. Right, Jajani?
Yes! Near perfect odds, aren't they?
Then the answer's clear. Sorry to surprise you with this, but can you go salvage the materials?
Of course.
Awesome. I know you'll find them in no time.
All right then. Bring the materials back here once you round them all up. Lynn, you use this time for another final system check. This is our last shot at it.
Understood, sir. I'm on it. I promise to get this big bucket of love into the Mirren skies before long.
A girl's wings. The Skell flight module has failed in testing out too many times. See if you can help it get through development. And when you complete this mission, you get access to the flight module mission being done. Alright, the materials you need to look for are in coils from Sylvium and also jet fuel speed jet fins in Oblivia. We're going to be doing this for ourselves, so it's not really going to be a concern. Now, the items in question are a bit of a humongous jump in where they are. The first location you need to go to is Oblivia, because it's the easiest one to get to. Now, we can use our Skell for this. This is easy. So, we can also get some of the materials out of the way done while we're doing this. It is followed by enemies known as the Quick Argians. These guys are the only ones that actually drop it, and you need to defeat them in order to do so. You have an easier time doing this if you go in the middle of where they are and use Phoenix Wings.
Start big. Move in and land a hit.
Yeah, as you see, very easy and straightforward. And there we go. One. Oh, baby. You shouldn't have. There we go, all dead. And nothing. I still have treasure sensor on, so I have an increased odds, so you have to make sure they drop. Unfortunately, not so easy. Finally found one. Next is, got one of them at least from the Lightspeed Fidgetlin from the Argons in Oblivion. Next is Sylvium, but before we do that, I see treasure that's taunting me, and I want it. So let's go grab that little treasure of the actual items we need, and we're good. Even the fact we're all so high level, it doesn't matter what we do. Although, I don't know how the game likes doing this. Oh, there it is. Duh. Drop. Thank you. Sheesh. Alright, whoa. I can't make that jump. So, what you have to do is actually a little bit more awkward for this one. You're gonna have to do this, running jump, jump on, stop moving. Okay. The problem with running jump is the fact that, of course, it makes you move forward automatically as opposed to anything else, so it's a little bit jarring for this one to grab. Okay. Sheesh. You know what? I'm making my life easier. I'm not going to run jump. I'm going to see if that works. I did. Okay, never mind. That's a battle point we missed. All right, let's ignore it for now and then head to the next one that's nearby because I forgot about it. And there we go. We're landing safely in the vehicle range. There we go. I just wanted to get some extra items in the question because we're done with that. Now, the enemies can be found in any location. Technically speaking, we could have gone back to Sylvia in order to get them. But it said etc. So technically speaking, you can go anywhere that there's a mark there. Because of that, the jet fins are actually easier in this location versus any other location in the game. The next location I recommend going to in order to get them and find them is by a location we have not been to before. We're probably going to burn a lot of fuel for this, so we're going to have to be a little bit careful. So, by heading down this way, as you see, there are a lot of simians around the map. They're level 48, so if you run into them, you are going to get killed like no tomorrow. Just try to avoid them, and you'll be good. Now then, let's just head up to get there quickly. There is a tyrant there, but I'm not going to bother with any tyrants in this area at all. Mostly because they're above our level, and I'd rather not do that. Plus, our objective is a lot more simple. So, by jumping up here, and I believe we can actually make this jump up here if we can actually get up to the side of it, we'll be avoiding a lot of enemies. Alexander Ridge is where we wanted to go next. Now, this area is important for later for those who are trying to get everything in the game, as well as the postman site of 315. Alright, postman site 315, let's go and access this immediately and complete more of the map. There we go. 315 is open. That means we've completed a section of the map. We can actually create a huge chain link together with other maps. That's actually pretty good. Now then, let's focus on priorities. You're probably wondering what the enemies are. Well, it's those guys over there. The Prone and Pog. So, you can't bring many party members with this, so unfortunately they're a little bit higher level than you. However, they're not by themselves either, so I wouldn't recommend this area of all things if what you're thinking of. There is another area on the map that's actually a lot more recommended, and you won't deal with multiple enemies at once. Now, if you turn around, there's a 3 500-meter one right near that other enemy. Just avoid using Phoenix Wings if you have it. If you don't have it, then you're good. However, this one is also a tyrant, so be careful. The recommendation is just get rid of the Flaxium out of the way so you have to deal with it and you'll be good. I'll cut ahead to get past the Flaxium. That nuisance was annoying, outright speaking. Okay, at least I took care of that. I just wanted to take care of that dang enemy. Now, I just need to get care of it. Now, unfortunately for me, I'm going to be using a lot of items in this mission. So, yeah. Walk up to this.
Here they come.
Level 38. That's around your level. Pretty good to go after. Oh, missed. I'm gonna just do this and refuel. There we go. Now, this guy is gonna be annoying when you're fighting it alone, but it's the best option you got, so you don't have to run into multiple enemies at once, and believe me, it is a better option. There we go. Did a lot of damage already, and we're very close to being done with this thing. Ah, dang. Having a hard time doing that. Alright, Phoenix Wing. Whoops, that's not good. Well, I may have triggered another enemy by accident. Well, that sucks. I'm gonna just personal patch. Oh, no, not personal patch. Yeah, ring patch. Dude, what are you doing? Come here.
This one's on the house. Look at that.
That is so annoyingly a nuisance. Alright, this is annoying. Get out of here. That's open. And Hyper Bursts. There we go. That is a tyrant for this level I want to take care of, and it's one of the ones we need. Let's go and take care of the stupid insect that's in the way, because unfortunately the Thaddeus is not exactly fun to deal with. And Karate Punch. There we go. Yeesh, what a grouch. It does drop fire guns, so it's actually pretty useful to grab, especially given the fact the fire gun is actually good damage-wise. The upgrade coil is what you needed to get from the enemy. And we also got battle points from the Oblivious, so it's actually pretty good to grab anyway. So, I'm going to get that one item over here before we head off, because we're done now with this area, and we can head back to the Outfitter's test hangar. This is the item that you needed back then as well, so it doesn't really matter. So let's head back to Oblivia, out of Oblivia, and head back to get ourselves potential new stealth flight license. Believe me when I say, there's no shame in using any of the free items you get from the online, or rather rewards for the Division rewards, mainly because it takes a while to take care of.
The hell did you do, Lynn?
I don't know. Just give me a second. Oh! I had the amp furnace circuit in backwards. I am so sorry. I can't believe I'd do something that dumb in the final check.
Oh, you're back. I take it you managed to gather the materials? As you can see, the test flight's gonna need to be postponed. Maybe canceled entirely. Sorry for the bad news after all your hard work.
No, wait! I'll handle the repairs and resolve the final issues myself. Commander, please. I need this to work. I need to make it happen. It's the last homework assignment I'll ever have. Please, sir, let me complete it.
I understand where you're coming from, Lynn. But it's not my call. That last slip-up has the Sakuraba guys spooked. The higher-ups aren't gonna be happy unless this thing can be mass-produced.
But all my work...
The apple really doesn't fall far from the tree. Don't worry about it, Vandom. I'll convince my people. I may just be a humble engineer, but I've given my life to Sakuraba. Let an old man cash in some of his favors.
Thank you, Isobe.
Well, that's one problem down. But this death trap still needs a pilot. After that little display before, I doubt anyone will be nuts enough to volunteer. You'd have to be real crazy.
I volunteer as tribute.
Thank you so much. I swear I'll make this thing work.
Now that that's settled, when can you have this bucket of bolts fixed?
I'll have it ready by tomorrow.
Alright, you've got till morning. Past that, we'll have to call it off for now. The higher-ups will want to take another long look and decide if this is still where they want to spend their money.
Understood. I won't let everyone's hard work go to waste. And I won't let down my brave test pilot either. I swear. It's done. I did it! I swear it's totally safe and secure this time, Commander. We dreamed of a Skell that can fly through the air, and now it's finally here.
Looks that way to me. And trust me, I looked close. This thing should work. It better work. What do you say? Ready to put your life in the hands of this thing?
Affirm.
That's the spirit. Should be a hell of a view from up there. Assuming you get up there.
It'll fly, jeez. Do you trust me on this or not? Oh, come on! You're gonna go on a perfect test flight and show all these naysayers what's up.
Alright, let's get this party started. Fly her to the specified point to start. It's a spot we haven't been able to reach before now.
The perfect landing point for our test flight.
I thought so. We'll be monitoring your progress from here. Good luck.
Oh, and whatever you do, don't damage the Skell.
I think what you meant to say was come home safe.
We have our objective now. We are in the next Skell. This is a Formula XT, a unique cell that's only available in this chapter. So, once we're done with that, we can actually now initiate the flight modules. We can also go to a location we could not go to before. In order to fly at all, you just need to do the following. Jump and jump again. You automatically fly. Now, another thing of note, in flight mode, you use up fuel fast. So, it depends on the weight of the vehicle. For example, the Skell from light models only use 1 per second, while the heavy Skells use 6 per second. You need to keep an eye on your fuel because flight actually burns through fuel rapidly. If you press the L stick, you can actually accelerate faster in the air. Now, keep in mind, while in Skell flight mode, if you fight in combat, your fuel gauge will decrease rapidly. And the option I recommend dealing with while you're going to Italian Rock Summit. Make sure you have skills and arts on your Skell that can actually deal stagger damage. This way you can inflict a bind on the target and get your fuel back. Ret 1010. And then you install the data probe in. You'll be good to go. This is the one location we couldn't get to before. There are several others afterwards.
I gotta say, it looked pretty fun. How did it feel?
Any problems? Tell me everything down to the tiniest detail. I need it all.
I flew with no problems.
I felt like I was flying myself, and that's just
Now let's just fly back to NLA Outfitters Test Hangar. And let's go. Now, you can also use the way of flying, accelerating up and down. Holding the jump button will make you go up, and now holding the other option of the button, known as the ZL button, will make you descend. When flight, this includes your descent while you're doing so. If you want to get out of flight immediately and dive, you can press both buttons at the same time. This causes you to use up no fuel while doing so. This also allows you to land safely without having to worry about it. You can also use an R button in order to descend and lower yourself so you can go to. If you're also doing it while acceleration, you automatically go to vehicle mode once you land on the ground. So it's a good idea to make sure what you're doing while you're accelerating in flight, otherwise you'll go flying off the ledge. This happens a lot and frequently, so keep an eye on what you're doing, otherwise you'll be good to go. Let's head back and get this skull back to Lid. For those who are curious, you can actually pull up the scale gear right now if you want to. And this skull is, well, has locked gear and equipment that are all level 15, and it's level 15 skull. It will go down automatically very quickly, so this is why you have a weak skull for it. Thankfully, those, ironically enough, this is the only level 15 skull in the game. So, yeah, pretty funny.
Welcome back. That was one hell of a maiden flight. She passed the test. We'll get rolling on mass production ASAP.
Yes! This makes everything worth it. Sure, I put poor Doug through hell and wound up wasting some rare materials. But I had to do this. I had to make my dream a reality.
I'm going to inquire.
You know, before they died, my parents began this as an independent research project. But they passed away before they could finish the design. That's how the flight pack got started. A device that can let any Skell fly still feels like science fiction. I can't imagine what possessed them to even attempt such a thing. But I knew I had to finish what they started. I felt like I'd never be a worthy engineer if I didn't. So, I called it my last homework assignment.
Those are some big shoes to fill. You can rest assured that your folks would be proud as hell. You know that, right? You did good, kid. You too. Thanks for all your support.
I'll promise to use this to protect everyone in NLA.
Damn straight. Once we get our people trained up on these, those ganglion are history. All right, enough jibber-jabber. It's time to get flying. With eyes in the sky, we'll track down that damn Lifehold core in no time.
A girl's wing is complete. The lifetime research begun with Lynn's parents has now been completed. Humanity's dream of taking to the skies and skells can now finally be realized. The one advantage the ganglion had all over us is the fact they could fly. Now we can. All of your skulls have now been fitted with flight modules, allowing them to fly. Jump the same button and press L in order to high flight speed. Flight consumes fuel. Now, outright speaking, it does depend on weight, so just keep in mind. Now that we're done with that, we can actually go back to our own area and get our skull back because we have to. Now, there are a few things that are available once you get the flight module available. And I would recommend that we are going to take care of them while we do so. The AM terminal, if you go to actually develop new gear and go to the skull frames, nothing is available yet. The keyword in that sentence is yet, so we have to wait a little bit. However, the skull flight module is now available to us. This allows us to actually take flight. Let's head back and get our skull. Alright, now we're back to the Outfitter's test hangar. If you recall correctly, the one thing that was taunting you before is there was a definite item up top here. This is only available if you get up to the top and nothing else. This item is only available after the attack of NLA. So, let's go and get this out of the way. Treasure out of the way, good. And cut debuff time 5, really good. So, a few areas I do recommend doing while you have the flight module. Now that we're back here, we can actually go and get the items in question. So, first things first, there are a few things I recommend not doing. See that enemy over there? That's level 61. Don't bother. Now, you're going to be actually going after the segments we need to go after. So, first you head south of here, and then you want to head to the island over there, as you see, not Peninsula Island, excuse me, Rather, you want to head over this way first. This allows you to get to a location that you couldn't get to before normally, and you can get to 108 normally by certain circumstances, but honestly, it's not a bad location. The flight module in hand, you can go to any location you want to. There are limitations though, such as the fact that skulls cannot go in caves, so there's that. With this problem inside out of the way, we finally got 2 locations opened up to us, and more Primordia is almost out. We're almost at the 50% mark. Now, there is one location that is available only in the flight module, and there's no way to trick it out. If you fly over to this island over here, there is actually another placement site around here. And there are no enemies in this area that really are threatening, so you're pretty much good to go on your merry way. 109 is another location I do recommend getting just for the placement site and nothing else. With this one out of the way, we're getting another big chain link. In fact, Primordia's almost finished chain linking. Now, another thing to go over to is over this direction. You want to fly over this way and get to the next placement site. We're going to be going after all the placement sites in Primordia, and I will be modifying the actual abilities of our Frontier Nav, so that way we can actually make the area a bit better for us in our long run. If you fly over this way, it's only available while in flight as well, so keep in mind. Let's go land here, and 105. This is nearby a location you're going to want to keep an eye on for later, especially for those who are doing story missions and whatnot. And 105 is done. With that, we have one more left to go. There we go. Energy clip, really good. There's one location I'd recommend at least popping in and at least see it. You see that steam in there? Well, it's not just steam. Oh, no, 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 no. In fact, this is one of the hotter areas in Primordia, because it's actually known as a cave called Solestica Cavern. Now, I just wanted to get the area open to us so we can actually see where it is. There's level 50-something enemies in there. They will kill you, unless you have something that really deals with insectoids. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend going dealing with them. Now, the next placement site is actually close by that placement site. However, you know where it is? Well, I'll tell you. It is actually above it. I don't know why they placed inside it's right here, though, but it is one of the odder ones outright. 101 is another placement site you want to grab. So let's get this one out of the way, and we're good. And all of Primordia's placement sites have been unlocked. The entirety of the map is now available to us, and we can actually modify this in any way, shape, or form now. We don't have to worry about nonsensical nonsense such as, oh, I can't maximize it. So, if it's now unlocked to us, we can actually make this thing as much as we want. So, I'm actually going to go ahead and do that off screen on my own time, only because it's way easier to deal with and nothing else. There is some treasure actually only above here and nowhere else, by the way. And actually would recommend getting it. Hey, Skell, what are you doing? I pressed the L by accident. Unfortunately, it is common to actually press the L by accident while you're in flight mode. If you climb all the way to the top of the mountain, by the way, it's actually a good little secret. Now, it's not easy to get to the secret if you're up here, so I will warn you all, it's not easy. Unfortunately, this secret is actually not up here, it's actually inside the cavern, so don't bother with it. As you see, we're above the Ganglion base again. Not exactly hard to understand. I wouldn't recommend dealing with that, so we're not going to bother. This is Lake Fuel Stronghold. These enemies are around level 40s, near level 50s, so keep an eye out. I'm just going to show off a few areas that we wanted to get out of the way and done with. Now they're all done with that, I'm going to head back to NLA. Just going to be a bit. Back in NLA, I wanted to get at least out of the way to deal with that the flight option because we can see Primordia outright. I will explain more areas in the future when we get access to them. Now it's the afternoon. Ironically enough, Lynn is actually located around here. I realize where she is, and Lynn is actually up these stairs.
Have you heard?
And more shivers go on. Let's ignore that for now. Hi, Lynn. How's it going? Rick, you're just in time. You have to save me. These women are fawning over me. I don't know what to do. Accept their adoration with grace. Hey, don't get me wrong. I'm grateful for the attention. I really am. I mean, they invite me out for cake. They ask me to go on picnics. They always wanted to go out on long drives or catch a movie together. They probably think I'm only lonely because... They probably think I'm lonely only because there ain't any other girls here my age. That's really sweet and all, but I couldn't possibly do all that stuff in a single day. What about something about a single activity? Yeah, you're probably right. If I could pick just one, I might be able to enjoy it. Well, cake is always nice, but a picnic also sounds pretty great right about now. I bet going on a nice drive would be fun, and I always wanted a nice, good movie. Wait, I know. I'll invite everyone to go on an adventure to go search on one of those great picnic spots we keep hearing about. We can drive there in my Skell, eat some cake, and relax under the sun, then come back home and catch the latest kaiju flick before we crash. It'll be perfect. The popular girl. That's out of the way and done. Now, I just want to take care of that and actually get this out of the way, and we're good to go. Now, we're all done with that. Everything is now done. And I think I'm going to end this off right here. So, next time on Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, we'll be taking care of a few things I wanted to get care of. One of them being a mission I wanted to do earlier. See you all next time.